I'm Alex Mollo. I am the scenic designer on Marie Antoinette.
I'm Emily Geldermann, and I'm the costume designer for Marie Antoinette.
The scenic designer basically is expected to meet with the director, hear the director's initial thoughts on what they would like the visual aesthetic look for the show to be, and then the designer takes that and their conversation and goes and does a bunch of research. As a scenic designer, you start preparing all of your little sketches, making drafts, making paint elevations, all of those good and fun things. Before first rehearsal, a big part of the design process for a scenic designer is making a model theater so that the director, the actors can all relatively see like the scale of the set and understand how they are supposed to move around the space. And then at first rehearsal, you kind of give a presentation to the actors, the team, and let them know, hey, this is my design, this is the metaphor behind it, this is the visual inspiration, and this is why I went in this direction.
The most important thing about costume designing is kind of like creating like the visual aesthetic of the characters. And so it's like a lot of character analysis goes into it, because it's like you have to figure out like who these people are, and it's like clothes tell you like a lot about who a person is, and it's like costume design is about making judgments about people, and it's about like basing their appearances on like the judgments that you want the audience to like get from them. And it's like a complicated process, because you have to try and figure out like who these people are like before there's a cast attached to them, and it's like before they even go into rehearsals, you have to have like this complete understanding of like who these characters are. Marie Antoinette basically follows the mind of Marie Antoinette. Like you're really like in her brain, and it's like you're watching her like try and process like all these things that are like starting to happen to her. It like paints her in a more sympathetic light, but it's also like she's not your friend while you're watching the show. You just kind of get to watch like this woman's world fall apart, and like her trying to like fix it as it's happening.
It's very humanizing for Marie Antoinette, because like you actually get to see her doing the things behind the scenes. And I really like this show because like it's Marie Antoinette, it's based around the time of the French Revolution, but it's not like all of this like super old vernacular that's like hard to follow and like very stuffy. It's like written in very like contemporary dialect. Getting to watch rehearsals and see the way that it's panning out now, I'm only so excited to see like how everything looks. We see the actors in rehearsal, but then like when the wolf costume comes out, no spoilers, that's actually like scary, and I'm like really excited to like feel how I feel when I actually see that in front of my eyes.
I think the weirdest part was that like I had spent like so much time on these drawings and like had been thinking about them for so long. That's like when I finally started talking to the girl who's playing Marie Antoinette, it like had never occurred to me until like that moment that she was gonna put on these clothes that I had drew.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like it doesn't exist in a vacuum anymore. Like,
no.
Now it's like, now you're gonna be putting these on. A word that like really stuck out to me was Annie described the color of Act 1 to be like puke pink.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like I like really took that into like my costumes.
You did, and I love it.
Because like Marie starts in like the most overbearing pink color that I could find.
As a designer, like I think Marie is a show where I would love if like no one thought about any of it while it was happening. They were just absorbing, taking it all in, and then after the show, it's kind of like that like light bulb moment, like when you watch a movie 2 times and it's like, oh my god, wait, that was so smart, they did that, and like, oh, I didn't even realize, but that led to this. And it's like the foreshadowings of things that like you have no idea what's being foreshadowed, which I think we do a lot in Marie. Like there's a lot of really subtle little notes, especially in color, that like allude to like symbolic things happening throughout the show. And like I hope that no one notices that as it's happening, so then at the culmination, at the end, it's kind of just like, oh, all of those things, like all of those tiny little choices were purposeful and were thought out by like all of these people. Like, we literally had a meeting to discuss like what color like one specific pillow should be, because like what is the symbolism of that.
Like everything means something. And I think it's like that helps translate it into like a really complete world where it's like when you're watching it, you're not like, they're trying to tell me something right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need to know what this is. It just like, it just happens.
Absolutely. And then like you start to see it as it's like literally just coming to a close, because it's like tiny little notes.
Marie Antoinette will be running November 18th through the 21st.
In the Greene Theater, come on by.